This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
Well, hello, everybody. It is the After Party live on a Hide in Your Cave Monday, and our friend Mark Thompson is traveling and going away for a while, and so there was a lot to iron out. I'm making him record some things. On Friday, we're going to have a best of show, so I was taking opinions for the segments that you have seen and that you liked a lot and that you would want to actually see again. So if you have any comments and suggestions, you can email me, kim@theafterparty.live. Maybe you saw a segment that you're like, I would love to watch that again. Well, let me know, because I'm going to pick 3, and we're going to put them together, interspersed with things from Mark, and that'll be run on Friday. Tomorrow, Mo Kelly will be on the show along with David K. Johnston and Adam James. So that's going to be a really good one. But yeah, a lot going on the Mark Thompson show. A lot going on this show as well. I've got some great caves today. I'm really excited to show you the caves of Albania, including the Black Cave. And they have some ocean caves, some sea caves that are super cool to look at. When is Maui, says Yvonne? Maui is on the 10th. Friday the 10th is when I'm checking out for Maui. So I'm excited about that with my mom and my sister and my sister's kids and my kids. And it's going to be really fun. I'm excited about it. I haven't been to, we used to go every year, and then just, KGO ended and things happened, and I haven't been for more than 10 years. So really exciting. The ceremony for Audiocaster of the Year is on July 17th. It's on July 18th, I believe. So it's the day after I get back. Yes. So I will go to that. That's I think it's in Alameda. Yeah. Hello to you, Nullifidian. I love your beautiful flowers. Thank you for that. All right, let's get into it. I have some, anything else? Any other business pertinent? No? Okay, let's move forward, because how cute is this little guy? That's Walter. Walter loves bubbles, and he loves popping them, and he is just the cutest. He uses these bubbles and his love of popping them for kind of an enrichment activity. Walter, this is a young African penguin. He lives at the New York Aquarium, and he really loves breaking bubbles with his beak. Young African penguins, it turns out, explore the worlds with their beaks. So he's trying to figure out what these bubbles are, and in doing so, he nips at them with his beak. And people are loving it. The enrichment activities give these animals in human care, a great outlet for physical activity. So Walter hatched on December 4th of 2025, and these animals are considered critically endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. This species usually, it's native to the coast of Namibia and South Africa. And Walter's species is threatened by fish shortages, human disturbance, and pollution, among other things. The future projected population decline is more than 80%. So, Walter is part of his species conservation plan. His love for bubbles and curiosity also getting a lot of attention, but the New York Aquarium is participating in the SAFE program, SAFE, S-A-F-E, SAFE program for African penguins. Their mission is to save the African penguin from extinction, and there's more than 50 zoos that are participating. They have seen the African penguins population, I think it's their zoo population, grow by 47%, with more than 98% genetic diversity maintained. So they're having some success. They've been doing this since 2005. And with Walter's love for bubbles, he's kind of become a symbol of the effort to save that penguin species. It sure is cute, though. Love it. This is an update. We had this story about this woman setting off from California in a little rowboat to head to Hawaii. Well, she made it. Kelsey Fendler becomes the first woman, the youngest woman, and the fastest woman to go solo for this 2,400-mile journey from California to Hawaii. Did it by herself out there in the big swells of the sea. She is a Grand Canyon river rafting guide. So, she likes the thrill. She set this, it's a record breaking journey, really. And when she pulled into the harbor in Honolulu on Friday night, on her 21-foot rowboat, after a month and a half out at sea, there were hundreds of people that were gathered at the harbor to welcome her and to celebrate her. She left Monterey in May, and there were hundreds of thousands of people following along on her website, her journey. She was sharing things on social media. It looks like she broke both the previous women's speed record and the men's speed record, according to records from the Ocean Rowing Society International. They say she finished in just under 44 days, faster than the previous comparable female record holder's 86 days or the male record holder's 52 days. So she did it. She's now holds the record, male or female. She had blistered hands. It was really hard to sleep because of stiff winds. She said it was a mental and a physical struggle. Sometimes there were really unfavorable currents and wind. She had to try to cook and protect her skin from the sun and wash her clothes and make fresh water. All of these things. Yeah. She said she's been a professional raft guide since she was 18 years old, and she spent the last 8 years leading trips along the Colorado River and the Grand Canyon. She said, "I just love boats in the middle of nowhere." She was nearing Oahu and posting a video. Her quote is, "If any part of this made at least one person feel a little more powerful in their own skin, then I couldn't ask for anything else, and I'm happy." And she said this is her challenge to us. Think about trying your own big, hard, scary thing. You might not think that you're strong enough to finish it right now, but you're definitely strong enough to start it. And you'll find everything else along the way. She said, "I'm going to finish my big, hard, scary thing." Her next goal is to swim 5 hours daily from the Oregon state line to Mexico's border with the hopes of finishing by November. So she's got her next big scary thing all lined up. What would your what would yours, not my next, my only, what would your big scary thing be? A big goal that you would want to achieve and set for yourself? Your big scary thing. You have anything you've been rolling around in your mind? Hmm. Did Kim start without us? I hope you're seeing the show because I think I'm talking to you. If I'm not talking to you, then I'm talking to myself again. Oh no. Well, let me know if you can hear. No, I think you can hear it. Yeah. I bet she's glad she finished with that. Yeah, you can hear me. All right. I started to kayak from Long Beach to Catalina, and the Coast Guard stopped me and said a storm was coming in. I monitored weather prior to setting out. No storm ever came. Oh no. Oh, sounds scary down the Pacific Ocean coast. Yeah. That water's going to be really cold to swim in. Tammy says her big scary thing is cleaning out her big shed. You know what I think about that? Baby steps. Like take one or two things out of it per day. Just go out there once a day. Open it. What's that one thing that catches your eye that you can get rid of? One thing a day. Pretty soon you'll be down to a quarter, right? Piece by piece. I'd like to start a hair farm and not use pesticides. A hair farm? I don't know what that means. Like a rabbit farm? Like a bunny rabbit farm? Oh, okay. All right. I'll move on. And congratulations to Kelsey. She's awesome. I have some archaeology stories that I'm really excited about. They found a Byzantine city in Egypt's western desert. It is very well preserved. It's this 4th century city, and it's amazing to see the pictures of this. Just amazing. Yeah. This area had residential quarters and religious structures, a basilica-style church, all in the Dakhla Oasis. There were coins found and pottery fragments and tools. You really get a glimpse into the life in this area. And check this out. Can you imagine? I can picture these ancient peoples walking through these walkways and standing and talking in these areas. Can you see someone standing by this wall? Look at that. Just a piece out of history. Amazing. They also found 18 tombs discovered at Marina El Alamein near Alexandria in Egypt, which included rock cut and limestone tombs, pottery, and a granite sarcophagus. The officials there with the Egypt Tourism and Antiquities said the first discovery reveals details of daily life, urban development, economic activities when Egypt was part of the Byzantine Empire. The unearthed quarters include north-south thoroughfares intersected by east-west streets, forming open squares and public spaces. There's a basilica that dates back to the mid-4th century that stands at the settlement's head, overlooking its main streets. There are 2 watchtowers to safeguard the outskirts. This oasis is in Egypt's western province called New Valley, and it's on the UNESCO's tentative list. So it's not on a World Heritage Site list yet, but it's one step away from being added to it. It's a very heavily fortified structure, as you can see here, with thick defensive walls. Many houses consisting of reception halls and vaulted roofs were found in this area as well. One of them they call the House of Tissaus, who was a church deacon dating back to the second half of the 4th century. They think it served as a house church before the construction of the basilica. They found bread ovens and kitchens and grinding tools and bronze coins with the portraits of Byzantine emperors and Latin inscriptions and Christian symbols. They had one group of coins unearthed dated to the reign of the Roman Emperor Constantius II, who ruled between 337 and 361. They found a collection of about 200 pottery fragments here, which would have been used as writing material. They're called ostraka. They have inscriptions detailing commercial transactions, correspondence, and other details of daily life in this area. And I have a picture of this, 11 rock-cut tombs. You can see the things inside, the bones inside. They're an average depth of 8 meters, 7 surface limestone built tombs. The total tombs found at this site, 48. In these tombs, there were pottery vessels, amphora, labs, plates, altars, limestone basins. There were gold pieces placed inside the mouths of some of the deceased. They call that the golden tongue. It was a practice associated with the funerary beliefs of that age. So interesting what they discovered there. I have to go back over those pictures because they're just so cool. So you can see the residential quarters there, the walkways, the fortified walls, and the tombs. Another story about digging and archaeology. This one out of Thailand. And this one involves golden rings, 2,000 years old, pulled from an archaeological site in Thailand. That's old. The rings were found with human bones during an ongoing dig at the Don Yai Tong archaeological site. One ring was engraved with characters believed to be Brahmi script, which is an ancient Indian writing system. They did an initial assessment and they identified the script reading as it's Pusa Kitasa, meaning the one protected by Pushya, which is one of the most interesting zodiac signs in Indian astronomy. The other ring, found with the same skeletal remains, is a plain gold ring, no pattern on it. They think the ring's owner may have been a merchant of the Indian ancient caste system. The archaeological site is about 80 miles from Bangkok, was discovered early this year after residents found pieces of ancient bronze drums in a rice field. So that's what led to the further excavation there. The site dated to a late prehistoric era in Thailand, a period of human settlement known as the Iron Age, established about 1500 to 2500 years ago. And since the excavation began, they have found 8 human skeletons, bronze and gold jewelry, pottery, and other artifacts, indicating a ceremonial burial of wealthy people or members of the society's upper class. They're going to keep excavating probably for about another month, and then they'll be showcasing the archaeological finds to the public. 2,000-year-old golden rings in a rice field. They found something in the UK as well. Pretty rare copy of our Declaration of Independence found in London. It's a rare printing. It was a copy we sent them to say, hey, we're checking out. It's the only known example of the Exeter printing of the Declaration of Independence known to exist outside of the United States. It is one of only 11 known copies of the Declaration of Independence to be printed in Exeter, New Hampshire in the days after it was formally adopted, July 4th of 1776. They think it was printed between July 16th and 19th, 1776. The whole purpose of it was to spread the news of independence across the colonies. The document is rare because it wasn't printed to be preserved, but to be distributed quickly and widely. This document was seized among papers aboard the American ship Dalton by Britain's Navy on Christmas Eve in 1776. The British Navy pursued the Dalton for 7 hours off the coast of Portugal before it was captured and the ship taken to Britain. After they took it and took this declaration, it was listed only as another paper, but it is now identified as a contemporary printing of the Declaration. There were workers at the National Archives that made this discovery in May while they were working on cataloging documents from the American Revolution to mark the 250th anniversary of this country. They say what makes this exceptional is that it's the only known copy taken by military action. And because of that, we know much more about it because of the bureaucratic process of war. That evidence taken from captured ships was preserved as part of Admiralty court proceedings. And we hold those records at the National Archives so they can present a backstory that other surviving declarations don't. They have an interesting provenance, as they say. Something weird popped up in Australia, and no, it wasn't Glenn, is Spaceballs. These mystery balls were rolling up onto the beach. They were found on a beach in Queensland. They caused concern over the weekend when they were spotted in the sand at Forest Beach near Ingham. They were now are thought to be likely pressure vessels from a space launch, also known as Spaceballs. This according to the Australian Space Agency. Initially, though, they didn't know what they were, and they were considered potentially hazardous by the Queensland's fire department. They didn't know what they were looking at, so they cordoned off an exclusion zone around this area. They had the hazmat gear put on to the firefighters. They went out, looked at these things. An Australian Space Agency spokesperson saying today the objects have been recovered and identified, and they do appear to be pressure vessels from a space launch vehicle. The object's location and characteristics are consistent with debris from a foreign rocket body that recently re-entered the atmosphere from orbit. So, what they say is, please never touch, move, or recover suspected space debris and assume it to be hazardous. Move away, contact emergency services. The classic example, they say, of what is known to be Spaceballs. Many rockets and spacecraft have liquid fuel systems that involve fuels under high pressure that are in these pressure vessels made over robust material. So these are parts of the fuel system that often survive because their melting points are higher than the temperature coming back through the atmosphere. They think these space balls landed in the ocean and then were just carried ashore by the tides. They say that the pressure vessels or space balls can be buoyant if there's no fuel in them, so they're likely to wash ashore. And they say we're going to likely see more of this. More rockets mean more space junk. So, what a weird thing to see wash up on the beach, though. It looks like a giant silver beach ball. Weird. Here's something that's happening up on the auction block. This is the historic Claudia Sanders Dinner House. Claudia Sanders and her husband, Colonel Harlan Sanders. Colonel Sanders opened it in 1959. They used it as the first headquarters of their Kentucky Fried Chicken empire, and it is going up on the auction block. The family lived in the Shelbyville, Kentucky home known as Blackwood Hall from 1959 until 1984. There have been people that have loved Kentucky Fried Chicken that have been going to this place for more than 60 years. In addition to the house, the auction will feature personal memorabilia from Colonel Sanders, including his personal working planner, handwritten recipes, and his signature bow tie. They've got a public preview of the collection up for auction going on later this month. You too can own the Claudia Sanders Dinner House. All right, it's time. We're going for it. It is Hide in Your Cave Monday. And we can thank the Kushners and their new island in Albania for drawing some attention to this particular list of caves. Sometimes I'm thinking, where could we go? Where have we not been before? We haven't been to Albania. And boy, do they ever have some cool caves in Albania. These are the top 10 caves to enter in Albania. And the first one is called the Black Cave of Palumbus. It is 15 miles southeast of Tirana on the left side of the Skorana Gorge. The Black Cave is among only 5 caves in Europe where remains belonging to a cave bear have been found. Cave bears dated 10,000 to 40,000 years ago. This cave is the exception in this category since the remnants of humans themselves, the earliest belonging to the Paleolithic era, have been found. And that makes this cave a rare piece of understanding prehistoric humans. It is about 1,100 feet long, 33 to 49 feet wide, 148 feet tall. The interior rich in natural galleries, stalactites, stalagmites, the formations, along with microforms of karstitic nature, make it interesting to study the paleogeographic evolution of this area. There's a walking trail that leads you to the Black Cave. So interesting. The next cave on the list is called the Defina Cave. It is a must-visit natural attraction in the Albanian southern Riviera. It is a small cave. Here it is, the Defina. It's a small cave, partially submerged, as you can see, serving as a beach as well. Stunning scenery here, and beautiful pictures for people to take. Big photo op. The best way to get to the Defina Cave is by boat because it's a sea pocket that stands in this wild mountainous area, rough seas. During the summer season, there are enough speedboating tours sailing the sea off of Karaburun, and these tours include a stop into the Defina Cave where tourists can dive straight into the water. Another highlight on these amazing cave tours is the next cave, the Haxi Aliyut Cave. We'll get to that in a minute. But the waters washing the Defina Cave and the bay are those of two seas, the Adriatic and the Ionian. And so that's why swimming in this area is on the bucket list for a lot of people. Okay, here's the cave of Haxi Aliyut. The only entrance into the cave is through the sea, since the waters surround all of it and wash through its interior. I have a picture of the cave of Haxi. Here's the entrance. You can see that the only way to get in there would be by, unless you're going to bungee jump from above, but they have some big boats that go into this cave. Pretty big opening. The entrance is remarkable. It is a rocky arch, 197 feet high, almost like a Gothic cathedral or an Oriental gate made by nature itself. That according to Albanopedia. There is a story or legend behind this cave, and here it is. An Albanian sailor pirate named Haxi Aliu from Ulquin, who fled into this cave with his son. From there, he launched naval assaults against the French, Venetian, and English fleets. Local legends say his raids took Haxi Aliu as far as Spain and North America. Again, the only way to get into this natural dome of Haxi Aliut is by boat from nearby beaches, and the best time to visit this cave is during the summer when all the boat rides and all the tours are available. This is the largest marine cave in Albania. Some of these boats going in here are massive. I don't know. It seems like a tight fit. I'll just show you this boat. Does this boat look a little big to be going into this cave? I'm sure it works, but I wasn't going to show you this one, but it just looks so huge. They're going in there. I don't know. There's a lot of people on there. I don't know if there's room to turn around or if they have to back out or how that works. The cave of Haxi Aliut. The next cave on the list is the cave of Piro Goshit. It is one of the largest caves in Albania, and it is only a couple of miles from the city of Korovoda on the northern side of the Canyon of Gradec. Again, the cave of Piro Goshit. And I have a picture of the cave of Piro Goshit as well. It's very dark. There it is, but you can see there's beautiful formations in this cave. It is uncharted terrain. The cave opens to a stunning view of the canyon depths, the waterfall of Radesh, and dense vegetation. It is a huge cave, 4,107 feet long, 16 feet high. There are numerous narrow galleries and water ponds, intriguing formations of stalactites and stalagmites. It's unclear as to whether early humans set up in this remote area, but if they did, the earliest estimate would be the Neolithic area, or the Neolithic era, rather. There are some interesting things in this cave, though. Mysteries. There are man-made tunnels cut aggressively into the canyon slope. The tunnels, apparently cut into in the 1980s, served as small uncharted military base for a small uncharted military base for the dictatorship regime. Tons of weapons and munitions were once stored in these tunnels that took 17 years to complete. So interesting. It's a bit of a hike to get into this one. The next cave on the list is called the Cave of Treni. Treni, Treni. There it is. We're going in. The Cave of Treni in the Duval region plays a pretty big role in the study of prehistoric developments in the Albanian territory. It is 12 meters from the lake waters in the area, and the whole area stands at a stunning altitude of more than 2,800 feet above sea level. They say the entrance to this cave is narrow, but after a short corridor, it opens up to its first gallery, 1,181 square feet. Then, on the southern edge of that gallery, another larger gallery. There's a natural window over the first gallery that brings natural lighting into the interior. They say it's clear that all of this was once used by prehistoric humans as a residence. This area has brought archaeologists to study items like prehistoric traces of life, ceramic works, paintings in stone. The closest large city to the cave is Korka, and so it's about 30 minutes from there. They think the evidence of human life in the cave dates back to the late Neolithic period. That would be 6,000 BCE. And then the latest is to the early medieval times. They found some things from that era in there as well. Again, that's the Cave of Treni. The next one is called the Cave of Kaurit, and it opens up near the shore of Komen Lake, near the town of Puka in northern Albania. There's the Cave of Kaurit. I don't know if I saved a picture of it, but I have a picture, so I'll show it to you. The Cave of Kaurit. Wandering monks found this cave to be an ideal, isolated retreat. It almost looks like the inside of a whale, the way it's kind of ribbed on the inside. I'll show you. Maybe I'm crazy for thinking that. I don't know. Okay, I have this picture. I think I have this picture. Here it is. Okay, sorry. My apologies for the delay. Check this out. Would you walk in there? Looks like what are you walking into there? I don't know. This was inhabited, this cave has been inhabited since early antiquity. So a lot of people have walked in here. And it continued to serve as a shelter site as late as the Byzantine era. Wandering monks of centuries ago found it the ideal isolated retreat. Despite the long history of the cave of Karit, it was largely unexplored and ignored until 2007 when it was rediscovered and then made more public. This cave is 110 meters in length, 3 meters in height and width, and it's filled with peculiar stalagmites and stalactites and geological formations of karstic origin. Oh, interesting. You can take a boat ride along the lake to get to this cave. The next one is called the Pirate's Cave. And boy, does it really look the part. You see the pirates going into this one? Here it is, the Pirate's Cave. Oops. That's my fault. I messed up. That's the reason I had one listed as the other. But here's the Pirate's Cave. The water is so blue and beautiful. There it is. Look at that. That's the Pirate's Cave. Made popular by the book of the same name, Pirate's Cave by Petro Marco, published in 1964. So interesting. It is beautiful scenery in the rocky shore of the Albanian Riviera, the clear waters of the Ionian Sea from the cave floor, the imposing tall rocks rising from the waters, creating this natural ceiling. Was it used once by pirates to anchor their ships? The cave is relatively small in length. It's only about 26 feet high and 33 to 39 feet in width. The natural harbor, they don't know if people would be able to dock in there because of its size. You can get here in one of two ways. You can, of course, take a boat from one of the coastal beaches. The other is that you can take a path inland that goes through a monastery, and you can enter the cave below using its natural chimney from above. So you can come from the monastery or you can come from the beach. Either way. The next one is called the Cave of Viroit. 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 This is a completely submerged cave. It's definitely a sea cave. Here's a picture of it. Unfortunately, I got all my caves mixed up. Here it is. So I would have been telling you that they were the wrong caves, but I didn't. I got that part right, but all my pictures are messed up. Okay, so this is the Cave of Viroid, and you can see that you got to dive to get to this one. Here it is. I don't know. I'd kind of be freaked out to go down there. Nope. It's completely submerged cave under the Lake of Viroit in southern Albania. Divers confirmed the presence of this cave in 2015 at a depth of 817 feet. And since they found it, there have been divers that have explored this cave. They come from all over the place. Exploring the submerged cave is not for everyone. Only professional divers can witness firsthand the secret beauty of this cave. That's why I'm glad they have this picture. There's a stunning photographs captured by passionate divers. You can walk or cycle along the promenade at the side of the lake, surrounded by lush pines and beautiful surrounding vegetation, like a real life canvas painting. Oh, beautiful. The next one is called the Black Cave of Nakaj. And this one is near the village of Koresh Malaj. It's between the all beautiful Valbona Valley, Komen Lake, and the Shala Valley, which they say is also the most interesting part of the Albanian Alps. Pretty long. It's 4-mile long cave, which will take you a while to get through. I have a picture of it. Sorry for getting my pictures mixed up today. And here it is. It looks like there's some really interesting formations inside of this one. Look at that. Pretty cool. So, initial estimates suggest a length of about 4 miles, which would make this the longest cave in Albania, but also the longest cave on the entire continent. They're still working on finding the extreme point, which they believe is an exit into what they call the Peak of Steels, one of these formations. There are intriguing limestone formations, bizarre engravings, and grotesque humanoid sculptures that feed into the mystery surrounding this cave. So interesting. The last one on the list is called the Gotjan Cave. It's a short trail up the town of Gotjan, and it looks like a really interesting cave to hide out in for a while. Here's a picture of the Gotjan Cave. There it is. Yeah. So this one says the earliest records of human activity in the Albanian territory have been discovered here at the Gotjan Cave. The Gotjan Cave in the town of Gotjan is the genesis of many studies of local prehistory. There are ruins of an old Illyrian fortification suggesting the presence of a very sophisticated society in this area. You take a short trail from the town of Gotjan to get into this cave. So many cool caves in Albania. Who knew? From sea caves to mysteries to monks, all kinds of pirates. Albanian sea caves are cool. We'll run through them again. Here's the Black Cave, the Defina Cave, the Haxi Aliut Cave. There it is again with a bigger boat. The Cave of Piro Goshit, the Cave of Treni, the Cave of Korit, Pirates Cave, the Underwater Cave of Viroit, the Gotjan Cave. And I almost forgot what this one is called. This one is the number 9 on the list. What is it? The Black Cave of Nakaj. There it is. And that, my friends, is Hide in Your Cave Monday. Sorry for my picture mishap, but I hope you enjoyed the caves. I think they're kind of interesting today. Albania has a lot to offer. Who knew? Yvonne says caves are incredible. Thank you, Audiocaster of the Year. Yeah. It would be fun to sing in there with the acoustics. Sure would. Looks like weird candy. Yeah, they're beautiful. Really beautiful and amazing. Those caves are awesome. Hope you had a fun vacation. Welcome home, Heather. Awesome. Yeah, so stunning. I think of all of them, if I had to pick a favorite, I think I'm going for I don't know, it's either Defina Cave or it might be the Pirates Cave. I kind of like the Pirates Cave. I don't know. Or maybe it's this one, the Cave of Hoxie Aliut. I like that you can take a big boat in there. They say this is the photo op cave. I know I'm not going to this one. This one looks pretty cool too. I don't know. All right, there you go. That's Hide in Your Cave Monday, and we will wrap it up today with the lotto of the day. We got a good one today. Here it is. This man from Maryland went out for a pizza, picked up a lottery ticket, and he won. It's 5 sevens, $77,777. Sevens across the board. Goes out to pick up a pizza for the family, comes home with a scratch-off lottery ticket. He told lottery officials he's just picking up the pizza a couple weeks ago when he decided to make a quick stop at the Sheetz store. Sheetz, Sheetz store. It's where he decided to buy lottery tickets. So he bought a $10 triple red sevens multiplier game, scratched it off in the store, revealing the 77,777 top prize. He said, I saw it have the 7 symbol, and I thought it was just a regular winner. But then I saw the prize, and I couldn't believe it. He said he had to scan the ticket just to double check. When I saw that go to the lottery message, he said, I knew I was a really big winner. He returned home with the pizza and the winning ticket. His daughter said he comes through the door with the pizza and the scratch off and says, guess what I won? And they all had to look at it a few times to be sure. He says he's going to use his $77,777 to pay bills. That's it, Dad? You're just paying bills? Nothing good? Maybe a lot of pizzas. How about that? That is the lotto of the day. All right, everybody. I will see you tomorrow on the Mark Thompson Show. It's going to be a good one. But until we meet again, please make it the very best rest of your Monday. I hope you had a great holiday weekend, and look forward to getting your messages. If you have any ideas about the best of show, it's kim@theafterparty.live to make the decisions here in just a few minutes. So get your comments in now if you have them. Again, it's kim@theafterparty.live. There it is. Okay. All right. And I will see you tomorrow on YouTube. For now, bye, everybody.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
Thank you to Mary Zane B, Barbara H, Deborah S, Carol S, and Rhonda A, the most recent contributors to the After Party Live via PayPal. Much appreciated.